Dude, that's pretty good. PE though.
I know, we have too small a class, I get too lit in PE.
Yeah, I love it though. Page 41, 1 through 10 and 12.
Oh, I have part of that done.
We do start that actually.
Lacey Graham,
Yeah, that was the thing we
please
did last
come to the
yesterday.
office. Lacey Graham.
No, I don't understand.
Because we had to do the things with the protractor.
Oh yeah, I got it done.
Somebody just typed me something outside.
I really don't know. Hey, Paige, look what's already wrote on my desk. It says I'm DVD. Okay, this is gonna make a lot of noise. Doesn't make that loud of noise. Oh, you know what? Here, take my
Louder than stop. You're being too loud. Say, I'm sorry.
I hate man. Put me in a bad.
Which is not. What did you say? No.
You're good.
You think so? Aw.
That's the aggression. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Just grab that.
There's the love and
Extra large eraser. Right.
yeah, you do. You
I
want to
don't
say
play
it?
I don't play games.
Sometimes you're trying to be
Oh, I could finish my own.
Who's 17?
Who's that? Who's that? Who?
Oh.
Why? Well, you can do that. So it's that says your name. And then you can go with that. Oh, I don't know. Why are you looking at me like that, Hank?
Wow.
Oh, you just made it in here before that door closed.
Yeah, they close.
Oh, you already left it open? Oh, man. Alright, I got everybody in here. This is one. In the back. James is gone. Alright, let's see if they're marked on, or if James at the egg trip. No. Yeah, he's ill.
No, no, it doesn't want to go.
Okay, perfect. Alright. Okay, today, all we're gonna do a couple notes. That's it today. Remember, I gave you homework yesterday. That was page 41. If you didn't get that written down, maybe you're not here. That video is online from yesterday. It's on my website. So you can always watch that if you want to see kind of what we talked about. Today, we're going to just continue with this idea of angles. We're going to talk about a couple vocab terms today. That's all we're doing. Very, very nice and easy. Once we get through some of the major vocab terms and I talk about a property or two, then I'm going to let you have time where you can just work on your homework today. Okay? Make sense? Very nice, easy, relaxing day. Nothing too in-depth. Just kind of talking about different vocab terms that we didn't discuss yesterday. So, alright. So let's jump right into it. Let's talk about the what an adjacent angle is. Let's talk about that. So we got a couple vocab terms here. So adjacent angles. Okay. Alright, now what you need to realize, I need to kind of preface this before we start. What we're talking about here today, like these names, these vocab terms, these are not like classifications of angles. Okay, the classifications are acute and right and obtuse. What these terms that we're going to be using today are just relationships. There's a certain vocab word we have when at certain angles we're interacting the way that they do. Okay, so we'll talk about the adjacent angles. They're a pair of angles that share a common endpoint, which quote unquote is a vertex, and a common ray. Now I want you to write that down, and then I want you to look at what we talked about yesterday. Like, because we had just a few terms that we talked about yesterday. Where did you see this yesterday? This part. The common endpoint, the vertex, and then a common ray. Angle addition. Yeah. In fact, the term I didn't even talk about yesterday is that the only way you can do angle addition, like you can add angles together, is if it's a situation like this, where you have angles that are sharing that common vertex and they have that ray in the middle. Okay, so let me give some letters here. A, B, C, and D. Okay? These are adjacent angles. They're literally side by side touching. They have the same vertex. They have a wall that's in between them. Okay, that's adjacent. I mean, so we can modify the definition of angle addition to say that angle addition is adding adjacent angles. That's what you can say. So that's kind of a vocab word you could throw out there. I didn't talk about it yesterday because I didn't want to throw out any more vocab words than we needed to. But it's a pretty easy concept. All right, now, I know in your homework, this page 41 stuff, there was it was one of the first couple questions that said, name the vertex. So can somebody name the vertex there? B, right? But when you name the vertex, I want you to write point B. Okay, because remember, you still have to use correct notation. So that's one thing I do check. Okay, now, on angle ABC. On angle ABC. So which one is angle ABC? That one, right? That's angle ABC. They use the arcs to signify that. Can somebody name the sides of it? Name the sides of ABC. So what do you got?
Ray BA and ray BC.
Good. Ray BA, that's one of them. And the ray is going towards A, and BC. These are the sides. I think that was like one of your second or third questions you had, where it asked you to name sides. I just noticed yesterday, it wasn't just your class, it was like 7th, 8th period. They kept asking questions like, how do you name sides? And I noticed that some of them on their paper, when they had, their drawing, and I think it was something like this, where X in the middle, and there was a U and a W, and they're supposed to be naming the angle where, angle 3 is at, naming the sides of it. And I kept seeing this, or I kept seeing this. What's wrong with that? Yeah, it doesn't have the vertex, number one, doesn't have an endpoint, and B, that's not how you draw lines and rays. Because how many letters do you need? Yeah, you have to have 2, so these don't work. So don't make that silly mistake. So if you start at page 41, you made a couple of those silly things, go back and fix it, because when they ask for a vertex, it's a point. When they ask for walls, they want the rays. And you have to use the vertex as the endpoint. Okay, does that help you out a little bit for a couple of those? I just wanted to clarify because some people were making that silly mistake yesterday. Okay, well, let's move on. So we got through our first vocab word here. So we got adjacent. Now we got to talk about linear pair. Okay, a linear pair is a pair of adjacent angles whose non-common sides are opposite rays. Okay, I'll let you write that down. I'll draw a picture of it here. Now this is slightly modified definition of what the book has. I'll explain. Okay, so the preface here is that we have to have adjacent angles. That's the thing we just talked about, right? So they have to be touching, okay? Now the second part of that sentence where it says the non-common sides, what does that mean, non-common? Like on that picture over here, on this picture, which one's the common side? Yeah, the middle one, right? That's common. It's the one that they both share. So on this one, they're saying the non-common sides, so the ones that are not in the middle, those are opposite rays. So this is one of the vocab words we discussed the other day. I kind of hinted at it when we were talking about the classifications. What do opposite rays look like? What does it look like when you draw an opposite ray?
A line.
Yeah, it's a line, right? So we're going to have a ray going this way. I'll call this MN. And then I have a ray going this way, and this is the opposite. Okay, so this is supposed to be the opposite ray. It's going the complete other direction other than MN, so it's MO. Going that way. And I'm just going to have a ray going up through the middle. We'll call this P. Okay, if this is truly opposite rays, that makes a straight line, because that was the definition of straight. And these are linear pairs. The angles that pair together, they're side by side, and they make a straight line. You can see it. It's right here. They form the straight line together. They're still adjacent. You can still add them, but what do you get when you add a linear pair together? What number?
180.
180 every time, because that's what a straight line is. It's 180 degrees. Okay, so do we understand the adjacent and the linear pair? They go hand in hand, but that's why I kind of paired them together on the board. Okay, we good so far? Okay, now let's talk about this one. This is a picture I saw in your book, and I want to make sure we understand the concept here. So okay, so we got vertical angles here. This is the type, and this is going to go hand in hand with one of the pictures you have in the homework, the page 41 stuff. I want to make sure somebody doesn't make this silly mistake on it. Alright, vertical angles. These are angles formed by the intersection of two lines. So I'll let you write that down, then I'm going to discuss like how this fits with one of the pictures from the homework. Alright, so we're going to have lines, there's two of them. They're going to intersect, so that means they have to cross. And that's when the angles are formed. So I'm going to draw one line here. There's this line, let's call this line, A and B. I'm going to have another line coming across it, straight line. Let's call this C and D. And we'll have the point in the middle, we'll call that point P, right where they crossed. I'll be real creative there. Vertical angles are angles that are across from each other. Not side by side, not adjacent, because these are adjacent, right? The ones that are side by side. I'm talking about vertical are the ones that are straight across. So this angle here and this angle. those are vertical to each other. Now, does everyone see that there's another pair vertical there? The one's going up and down. So, this angle and this angle. There's pairs of vertical angles when you look at a picture like that. I just want to make sure that you get to see that. I always have a different term that I use for vertical angles. Vertical angles is the correct term, don't get me wrong, but I sometimes call it like the funnel system. It looks like a little like oil funnel. Like you're gonna funnel down in and it's gonna come out the other side. So maybe some of you have seen this toy. I remember playing with this toy when I was really young, where basically it's this little plastic cylinder piece. Looks something like that. It's maybe about an inch or two tall. It's thick enough where you can like screw in a couple like 2-liter bottles of pop or water onto it, and you can put them on both sides. Okay, I don't know if any of you have ever seen that before. Okay, and what you do is you fill water into one of them. So like you put the water down here, and what you do is you turn it over, and then you spin it, right? You just hold it in the air and you spin it by holding onto the bottle, and what happens is now, because when you turned it over, now the water's up here, right? And what's gonna happen is it forms like a little cyclone, and it goes down, it's like a little tornado. And then the tornado goes through the little like plastic piece and then comes out the other side. And the idea, the concept is, it's just forming this little funnel system. It's making a vertical angle, that's what it's doing. The weird thing is, the reason why that toy is interesting is because the tornado on the top is a perfect mirror image of the tornado on the bottom of the actual container on the bottom. They look the exact same tornado, they're just upside down. And that's like the fascinating thing when you see it, especially if you use like colored water and stuff. You can really see the differences. So, I don't know, it's just, I think you can still buy that. In fact, I'm pretty sure I remember seeing the little like plastic piece that probably cost like 1 cent to make. I saw it at Hobby Lobby, so I know that they still sell something like that, but I don't know if you've ever experienced one of those. So, this is what I think of. This is like that concept is how it fits. Now, how it works with your homework, page 41, because I said, like, I saw a picture that reminded me of this thing. It was a picture, and it was something like, there was a lot of stuff going on. It was, there was stuff like this going on, and right here, there is something like this. PQT, there's a 7 over here, a 3 and a 2, and there's a couple other letters, S and R, and T. I already used T, X, let's use that. Alright, so there's a bunch of stuff going on, and it was one of the questions, I don't know if it's like 21 or 22, and all it said was give a different name to angle PQT. PQT, angle P to Q to T, that's this angle right here. In fact, let me make that a dashed line so you can see that. Okay, that angle. Can somebody give me a different name to that thing? Can somebody give me a different name to PQT? And the person that came in this morning asked, like, could I use a number? Could I call it 7 or 3 or 2? No, I know that 7, 3, and 2 are attached to like Q or Q's at. How do you name this differently?
TQP.
Yeah, you just switch the letters around. That's how you name it differently. The Q has to be the middle, because that's where the vertex is, but you can just switch the front and back letter, because it's still the same angle. So it's not a trick question, it's just, you have to get used to it, you can write angles in different ways. So, does that make sense now? I think it was like 21 or 22 in the homework. Somebody came and asked this morning. Now, according to vertical angles, like this picture, what could you also say? Could be angle 7, technically. Because I know 7 transfers across on a vertical angle. They look like the exact same angle. We're going to talk about that concept here in a minute, why these can potentially be the exact same angle. But I don't want that. I wanted this. This is kind of what I wanted, because we hadn't talked about this concept yet of vertical. Okay. Complementary, supplementary. These are the last 2 words I want to talk about today. And then I think we already know the word perpendicular, but I just want to make sure that you get to see it. So these are going to be the last 2 words, and then you get to work with some of your homework. So we're going to take about 2 minutes here. complementary versus supplementary. Okay, complementary angles. Pair of adjacent angles that sum to be 90 degrees. What does the word sum mean? Add. Yep, add to equal, right? Add to equal, right? It's a pair. They have to be touching, have to be adjacent, and you can add them to make 90 degrees, so it has to be something like this. Now, what symbol do we use for 90 degrees? Little box, right? Little box in the corner signifies it. These two angles are adjacent. They have the common wall. They have the outsides are forming the 90-degree angle. But whatever these angles are, this angle plus this angle adds up to be 90. That's the idea. So if I said this was 30, then the other angle would have to be 60. That type of thing. Like they have to form it. Okay, now what's another name for a 90-degree angle? Right or? What was the other word that's actually written on the board? Oh, perpendicular. Those are the two words. Okay, complementary, just to make sure that we understand this, complementary means you're going to add two angles to make 90. A 90-degree angle by itself is called a right or perpendicular. That's the idea. So complementary means you're adding to make them. Okay. All right, now supplementary, the difference, why I always put these on the board side by side. It is a pair of adjacent angles that sum to be 180 degrees. They sum to be 180 degrees. Okay, so they have to be adjacent. They have to form 180. So let me draw that. So we have this angle here, and we have that angle. Now, what does this look like to you? What does the picture look like? What did we just talk about earlier? Linear pair, right? That's literally what it is. Supplementary angles, angles that add to make 180 degrees, are literally the definition of a linear pair. They just add to make 180. Okay? It also forms, so we could call it a linear pair or it's a straight angle. That's the idea. They have to add. So whatever these are, so if this is 20 degrees, then the other one has to be 160. Like that's the concept. Now the hard part between these is not memorizing the name, whatever. It's the idea that some people when they look at a picture they assume. Like you look at a picture and go, oh, it looks like it's 90. Yeah, it looks like it's 90. It doesn't have to be. What's the symbol for 90? Little box. There has to be the box there. Or they have to tell you explicitly that things are perpendicular to each other or 90 degrees to each other. Straight is also one of those, is one devilishly hard concept because even if it's off by 1 degree, now I'm really exaggerating this, if it's off by 1 degree, some people sometimes can't tell it. Now I really exaggerated that, but 1 degree, okay? So, and it may look straight, but it's not, and there's no symbol that we have for straight. They just have to tell you in the instructions that maybe it forms a straight line, or that these rays are opposites of each other. You know, in the instructions up above, they could say that maybe AC is a line. Then you know it's straight when this is 180 degrees. That's just a subtlety that they could write in the instructions. You could just write this. Okay, are we comfortable with all the different terms today so far? We talked about perpendicular, complementary, supplementary, vertical, linear pair, adjacent. Okay, you have the rest of the time. You can work on your page 41. It is due Monday, so I'm gonna be entering in book cover scores right now, so as you guys are sitting there, you're gonna probably notice your grade will be changing a little bit. It's fine. If I don't have your score, because you're gone, I think Kayla was gone the other day. Kayla, you have your book cover on? Yes, you do, so no worries, so that's all I need to check. Okay? Alright, the rest of time's yours, move around, have some conversations, work together. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask. If you need to borrow a protractor again, because maybe you forgot to measure those certain angles on 5 through 8 or 30 through 34, you can borrow one from me, but I need this back by the end of class. So I know like Michaela will need one, she wasn't here yesterday. So you might want to borrow one of those because they ask you to measure a couple things. So, anyone else need them? That's all that's right, baby. I'll hand that over to her.
I have to go back and put like, yeah, I totally forgot about that. Like naming the bird sex of 4. We'll have to do like point you.
Or just point one.
I'm just gonna go back over and check that.
Just look at it. Yeah, just look at it. Pages. Back, figure it out.
You see, I think if you could put a number on that somewhere up here. So I think what you should be doing is. I think we should do this.
Why I see you?
Oh, that's just.
Oh, good on those.
Hey, you got a question? What do you got? Fire away. What? You want me to come over there? Oh, that's fine. Somebody might have the same question as you. Which one is it?
For mine is, right there.
Just right as you have these two letters and an arrow above it.
I'm gonna look up and like, that.
Three, so.
Okay, then 21.
W
I'm gonna be on the strong bus the whole day.
Yeah.
Never getting off that bus anyway. I think that is she's like, I'm never gonna get off that bus. Taylor's like, what bus? Maddie Olin. Neither. Oh, you're just trying that bigger. That's a good idea.
Okay. See, Michaela, I think you're still missing the previous two assignments for me. Page 8 and page 18, the ones that were due earlier last week and this week. So, because you've been gone almost every day since the first day of school, so I need those two. Because right now you have zeros for a score in my grade book. Page 18, so you get that one turned in, okay. It just probably hasn't been graded yet. So, but I need page 8 and I need page, is it what? Is it 20 that we have? What was the other page? Just page 31. We've had 4 assignments now. Yeah, page 31. So.
We're almost done, we just have 4 questions.
Subtract.
Okay, basic announcements today as you guys are working. Picture retake day is next Tuesday. So if you weren't happy with your school pictures, picture retake day is next Tuesday. It's at the elementary, so at some point they'll announce over the announcements that you can walk to the elementary and take your picture. Yes, they make you walk even if it's raining. So be prepared for that. I know that there's football games tonight over at Clear Lake. JJV starts at 4:45. Varsity starts at 7:30 as always. It is their homecoming over at Clear Lake, so that's kind of a big game tonight. Let's see, volleyball tournament tomorrow in Belmont. Cross country on Monday, so that's kind of gives you the heads up. Lunch day is pizza, orange, salad, corn. So there you go.
Is the volleyball game on Tuesday away? Where is it at on Tuesday? Volleyball game?
That I don't know. I haven't seen. Let me look. Let me look at the
Rockford
email.
or something.
Oh, that wouldn't be a bad game. Usually we always have Rockford at the end of the season.
No, maybe not. I don't know.
No, that'd be nice if it was earlier. It's always the last Tuesday of the year.
Oh, it is?
I don't know why. They always do it.
Do we have a home game next week or not?
I'm trying to find the
2 more
email.
home games, right? 2 more, that's it? 2 more.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, last year was 2 more home games.
I'll have to look at the email.
Oh, wait. I think it was right there. What's the date?
Okay, so NLK, Braves,
Out like Mills.
KN, Bisex, MLK. Alright, so that means that angle.
And then, wait. 9, 10, 11. We don't have one on Tuesday. What? Oh, what's the day on Tuesday? We don't have one on Tuesday. That's the first. Seriously, we don't have until. We have one. Oh, we do have one Tuesday. Never mind. Never mind. But no, listen. We don't have one the 15th. We don't have one Thursday. We have one Tuesday at Lake Mills. We don't have. Funny. And then we don't.
What I would.
And then we have the JJV tournaments next year.
Yeah. Here's what I would do, and this is gonna seem a little weird. Okay, LKN, that is your LKN, that's your 7X.
And then the 20th is home Eagle Grove.
That
That'll
is the
be
same as the
so
angle right
easy.
next to it, which they did not.
Such an
do.
easy win.
That's the MKN.
Hopefully we can beat
The
Hampton.
MKN is also the same 7X minus 9. The reason I know that, they said, that the certain angle
I don't know what
so
our.
you have 2 7X minus 9s there, right? And then you have the other angle which they said was the JKN, they said that was X plus 3. What happens when you add all 3 of those angles together? What would you guess? That's it, so it's a straight drop the rate. You have to add angles to it. It's the only way.
North
That's why
Union.
you're not getting angles under your
Oh, it'd be things like that.
That's how it goes. So add up all 3 of those angles. So you're gonna add 7x minus 1 plus 7x minus 9 plus x minus 0.
So that would be things like that.
That's how I would do it.
Oh, I got you.
Question?
Yeah.
Viewed x, y.
That made my day. Okay. So should we go to 10? I don't know. Oh, you just skip 10. And I'm just gonna try it.
This one. Yeah, so you have to sort of come to one of the walls and then next one to the other one.
The one that got second.
They need to be facing the correct letter.
Find JK.
Attack towards, so they are supposed to be facing that one. vertex to that, so they're gonna be facing that letter. Depends on which way they draw the angle. If the angle's like drawn this way, you just simply break and count out. If the angle's facing this way, then you count the other direction, 0 off. Depends on how they draw the angle. Point is if they want a vertex. That's the point. If they want a name of an angle, you have to use the 3 letters or numbers.
Okay, word I need help.
Is which
I
one?
don't get how to do 9 and 10.
In 9, I believe they give you like N, K, L.
Actually, no, 10 and
10. Alright, so on 10, this is weird. They give you this angle and that angle. They're not even equal, right? They're way apart.
Yeah.
These 2 are equal, because that's what they said in the instructions. These 2 are. They told you that in the instructions on number 10, this NKL is a 7x minus 9.
Yep.
That means this angle right here is a 7x minus 9. And then this angle is, I think, x plus 3.
X plus 3, yep.
So what happens when I add all 3 of these together? What would you get?
180.
Okay, that's how you do it. Add those 3 angles. 7x minus 9 plus 7x minus 9 plus x plus 3 equals 180. That's all. Because it's a straight angle. That's the only way you can do that problem. Because they don't give you things you can just set equal.
So 7x minus 9, 7x minus 9, and then
X plus 3, add them all up, equal 180.
Oh wow, okay.
There you go, that's good.
Plus, oh, sorry.
What'd you write down?
Oh, we can add the other. It could be 15x, right?
Yes. What did I just do? That is lit.
Where'd you get that one?
Does he have that back right? You can hold like the crew.
I thought we could do it. 15, maybe 15. Oh, you're just like that.
I can't make it straight.
Could be negative 1. Could be by negative.
Do we have to plug it in too?
Silly. I did too. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
So I did 14x, and then you can add that 1x to the 15. And then negative 9, and then negative 18. Okay. And then
Alright, here we go.
I divided by 15.
Volleyball next week is at Lake Mills on Tuesday. We're at
Okay.
Lake Mills on Tuesday. And Thursday, nothing?
Oh wow, that's the first.
Yeah, I think that was the day we were going to do one of our team bonding things.
Sweet. Like what?
I have no idea.
Isn't it that smooth? When's that smoothie thing?
That's the day. That's the day. It's that
Okay.
Thursday. Yep. And then I think we have a
okay.
volleyball tournament that weekend. Yeah, Saturday. Because I know the JV and JJV.
Oh, so we helped all day, right? To keep it on. Right.
Do we have a name or a hand?
You know. Okay, so then what do you do? It was 15. What do you have after that?
Yeah.
Oh, we have to add the 15 to the 180. So we have a thing.
Any of your
Yeah. Okay. 15 minutes. Then would you get a 195 and then 5? Put it in. 13. Shoot. Yes. Did you order one?
11.
Mine has holes in it. Yeah. Even the new one. Yeah, I had that one too, and I wanted a new one because mine burnt a hole in it. We were kids, so I went around and like we put a hot bottle in there, and it came up and like landed on my sweater and burnt a hole in Taylor's shirt and like and we had a blanket and everything. It was a mess. Okay, now we have to put that in. What's the answer again?
So that was 27.
13.
You guys confused me. I thought you guys had like.
Yeah.
It is Friday, yeah.
Oh my gosh,
What was yesterday? So now we have to, wait, so now when we get that number, we have to plug it in now? Right? Oh man, oh I don't have enough room for that.
I like to remember chicken wings.
Good idea.
And you get the same sound. Look at an example of problems. Oh, that's cool.
So 66 and 88.
Maybe that's what just to be said.
I think. Now I just said plug in the wall. Oh, true.
Oh my gosh.
We just had to plug it into LKM. Because we're finding that. Yup. So it's 7 times 13. 91 minutes.
Surprise.
Minus what?
Surprise.
9. Right there. LKM is 7 times 5. We are. Oh.
I know. Good choice.
You should have our computer apps.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Just do it.
How did you write that? Okay. I mean, whoa.
That's a thing that's right.
We did it wrong.
I'll take the
Because we're